Welcome back and welcome to another Algebra 2 practice. Before we get started, let us look at this amazing word that tells us the truth from Bible. This is a Chinese word that says light. If you want to know how to read it, it's 光. Now, as you can see, the top is sunlight. And this is the horizon. And under the horizon, these two strokes means sun. Which sun? The son of our Holy Father, who was born as a human and lived with us. So when we put all three parts together, this whole word means light. All right, I know it's a math lesson, but I'm just excited to share this with you because we always do a prayer before our video. Okay, now let us get started. But don't forget, we always want to say thank you to God, to Jesus, because He is a light. He gave us all the wisdom. Okay, now let us look at these quadratic equations. In the previous videos, we learned how to factor it, and then we take the square roots from both sides. We can solve it, but this one we cannot factor it. Therefore, we can use a quadratic formula that you learned from Algebra 1. Quadratic formula says we can use negative b, add and plus, add or subtract, b squared minus 4ac. over 2a. Just in case you need this, I'm going to put this standard form right here. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is a standard form. Now, as you can see, a is 1. b is 3. c is negative 2. Now, all we need to do is to plug it in, or we say substitute. So negative b would be negative 3. Add or subtract. Add and subtract, okay? And b squared, that is 3 squared, minus 4. A is 1. C is negative 2. Over 2, a is 2 times 1. Go ahead and pause this video, see what you get, and I'm going to calculate right here. Okay, this is what I got. What do you have? If you want to keep the radical, you definitely can write these two solutions as two roots, right here and here. If you like your decimal, of course, you can use your calculator, get a decimal. Go ahead and use your calculator. Let's see what you have. Alright, as I was waiting for you, I also used my calculator, calculated this, and this is what I have. So is about, and make sure you use the word and. This is how we use a quadratic formula to solve quadratic equations that cannot be factored. And do not leave because we're going to practice more. Alright, this one look a little bit different, but that's okay because we're going to manipulate it and change it into ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is standard form. For this reason, I'm going to minus 12x each side. And I'm going to add 9 each side. Then, let's see what we have. We have 25 x squared minus 30x and plus 9 equals 0. You see, now that is the standard form we're looking for. Why do I want to do this? Because next step, I will want to use quadratic formula. Change it into standard form. That just makes things easier for us. Okay, and also it's a necessary step. Okay, pause this video, go ahead and substitute, see what you have. Okay, check your work, see if you substituted correctly. Negative b is 30, and then negative b is become 30. Now here is b squared. Make sure you write down negative 30, open close parenthesis squared. Then you plug in a and c, and at the denominator it's 2 times 25. Go ahead, clean it up. Simplify it. Alright, did you get this? Under the radical, you have a 0. You might be wondering, why do I need to write down under the radical? I have a 0 because, remember, in Algebra 1, we learned if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, you have 2 roots. If it's equals 0, you have 1 root. In Algebra 1, we taught you when it's less than 0, then you have no solution. You just simply write down no solution. But since we're in Algebra 2, if you say b squared minus 4ac, which we call it discriminant, when discriminant is less than 0, we actually can continue to solve it. Since this is just 0, so you have 30 over 50, then you simplify, then you have 3 over 5. I know some of you really love decimals. You always say, I'm going to change into decimal. You don't have to, but if you really like, go ahead and do it. And I'm going to keep my fraction. Fraction is beautiful. All right, so that is my solution. Okay. Once again, don't leave because we're going to solve a situation in Algebra 1. When you learn discriminant is less than 0, you say no solution. But here, I'm going to show you example because we can use our imaginary number. Continue to solve it. Okay, I have this question for you. Let's write down ax squared and bx and c equals 0. Why do we need to do this? Because it's still quite new to you. If you use this method, you can say exactly what is A, what is B, what is C. As we said, if you know your ABCs, you can solve this problem. Negative B, add and subtract, and b squared minus 4ac. Once again, this whole thing is called a quadratic formula. This yellow part, b squared minus 4ac, we call it discriminant. All right, we're going to do over 2 times a. Go ahead and plug in. Let's see what you have. Okay, when you substitute, I hope that you put everything here correctly. And then you got something look like this. Remember in Algebra 1, we say, oh no, this is negative, you don't have a solution, so you just write down no solution. But remember a little while ago, you learned a beautiful number that is called imaginary number. Imaginary number means this negative 4 under the square root, we can write down as 4i squared, okay? 4i squared. Then we can take the square root. We have a 4 plus minus 4 is a perfect square, come out as 2, I squared come out as I, and over 2, okay? All right, now don't stop here. You can simplify, okay? Okay, this part I'm going to do some small baby step, okay? Because you might forgot this is something you learned from Algebra 1, except Algebra 1 you don't have the I here. But you know how to simplify this in Algebra 1 because you can simplify this part first. 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. And then you're going to simplify this part. It gives you I. And then don't forget to copy it down. Add, subtract. And now you have 2 roots. The first root is 2. Add I. Next root is 2 minus I. Now you can call it all down. Okay, thank you for participating in this lesson. Happy learning.